Hey everybody, before we get into this video, I just want to let you know these thoughts in here are mine and my own. I take a look at it from a content creator perspective. I take a look at it from a player perspective. And I really feel that everybody's voice needs to be heard. And when I give my thoughts here at the end of this video, I truly hope you stick around for the entire video. I apologize in advance if it's a little long, but I do not bring things up that I have concerns about unless I have some ideas on how to fix it or how to help. They're my thoughts, my ideas. I don't know if everybody agrees with it or not, but I do come up at the end of this video. I do give my thoughts on a few things that I feel would be good to kind of turn this whole thing around. So I hope you enjoy the video, and I'd really like to hear from each and every one of you. Hey everybody, Unstable Gamer here, and welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be a little bit different than some other of my videos here because everybody's heard of the Phoenix debacle, Phoenix farce, Phoenix whatever you want to call it. All these names are out there for it, but that's what I'm going to talk about in this video right now. We're going to just talk about what happened. So just kind of rewind a little bit. I went, and the other day when I went and I looked at this, I really needed to collect my thoughts. I wanted to figure out how to approach the video and what I wanted to say, because there's a whole lot of stuff that happened, right? So what I did is the other day I went in here and I looked at this and I pulled it up and I started reading, and I'm like, all right, so let's go ahead and see what the event details are. What? That makes no sense at all. Okay. All kidding aside, this is a pretty serious matter, I believe. And so I've got some talking points. Went ahead and pulled this up. Saw that, and immediately I was filled with anger and honestly rage about this whole thing, because it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So I went to Reddit, and as if you guys have seen, and those of you who aren't on Reddit and Twitter and stuff, Reddit, Twitter, everything just blew up. Everybody was up in arms, and you know what? I can't blame anybody, because a 6-star unlock, and we only have a few weeks to get characters that we typically put nothing into up to 6 stars makes absolutely no sense at all. So basically, there's only 2 kinds of people that are going to get this. Well, really, there's only one kind of people who are going to get this, and these are the whales. These are the people who are going to spend a bunch of money. And I have nothing against whales or anything like that. I spend some money on the game as well. I'm probably more of a dolphin than a whale, but that seems to be what this is geared towards, to make money. At least that's the impression that it's giving, right? So the advanced information that we got. So let me speak from my point of view. I'm not part of the Envoy program for Marvel Strike Force, but I am part of a creator program for another game that I play, and I've received advanced information as well. And one thing that you really have to be aware of when you get this advanced information is that there are things that can change on a dime. I released some content and talked about a specific event that was coming up, and there were some slight changes, nothing major. But when you have this information given to you, and you are basically taking that from the developer and saying, hey, all right, cool, I want to make some content about this. I want to give my viewers some advanced notice of what's going on so they can be prepared. It's kind of a benefit, right? It's not, these programs are very much voluntary. The creator program that I'm a part of on another game, I don't get paid for either. So it's just a cool opportunity for us to be able to get some stuff and give it to you as the viewer ahead of time. Fantastic, awesome, and you trust that the information that you're given is most of the way accurate. I can deal with some minor tweaks and changes here and provide you guys with kind of a disclaimer, just like we do with the data mines, right? That you want to take it with a grain of salt. Nothing is definite until it hits the game. However, when you have something as drastic as this, then in my opinion, it put the content creators who are part of that program in a very bad spot. And when I was looking at Reddit and stuff like that, a lot of those content creators in general were really getting a lot of heat over it. And I think that was super unfair for really for Fox Next to put those content creators in that program. So I'm hoping that this is not going to be a continued thing going forward. But I have to say, I have to bring this up. This is the same thing that happened back in December, and I can't remember the details. I'm sure some of you do, but back in December with Jovenshire and some details that he was given about Spider-Verse and the availability, something like that, right? That information was not accurate as well. So right now, from just me on the outside looking in, there's two instances here that did not put content creators in the best of light. So I hope that changes. I really do. Over the last couple months, I have said in my videos, that the company has made a really good change. And I believe up until this point, and I believe that is very much true. I even reached out to the community manager, gave him props and said, this is very cool, awesome to see. So I'm just hoping that this whole thing with the Phoenix 6-star thing, I hope it doesn't happen again. And I hope that we can trust the information that we get from the developers. So let's go ahead and take a look at this community update that came out. It came out yesterday, talking about Colossus, Alliance War, and Blitz and stuff like that. I'm not going to go over this. I'll go over it in a different video. But one thing that they did put down here is right here. They said that before we get started, they want to recognize the fact that they've seen a lot of feedback on Reddit, through Twitter and all that stuff. So they recognize the feedback that they got. Awesome. Fantastic. Good. Typically in the past, whenever there's been strong feelings, there hasn't been acknowledgement. There's been a few here and there, but it's good to see that they said, hey, you know what? We're going to review the feedback. All right. Awesome. Great. You take the company's history into play, and I don't really trust that. And it really sucks, because as a player, not as somebody who makes videos, but as a player, I want to be able to trust that my voice is heard, because essentially, and this is just my point of view, this is our game. Without us, without the gamer, without the player, there would be no game. They would make no money. There would be nothing out there whatsoever. So in essence, it's our game. We have control, in my opinion. If you don't like what the direction the company's going, if you don't like what's going on in the game, you can just quit. So essentially, we sign their paychecks, right? Because without us, there would be no game. There would be no money coming in. So I really take this seriously when I get information from the company, and I hope that it's true, and I trust that it's true. But because of how things have gone historically, I don't fully trust that. I'm still hopeful. So then there was a post that came out on Twitter. Not Twitter, I'm sorry, but on Reddit. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. This right here came out about, 15 hours ago, it says. So Cerebro, he's the community manager, came out and gave kind of an update on what's going on, right? So a few things here. It didn't say anything about dialing it back to a 5-star, but basically it's saying that the event will start June 27th. So they're giving us an advanced date as far as when we're going to be able to expect the event. All right, so it's good to get a date. Great. If we go over here, then they're going to do a hand flash event, a 2x hand event. They're going to do a Mystic Controller bonus events on the 22nd and the 28th. So they're giving us all this information. There's a 2x character shards for the necessary characters, giving us all this information. And then they say that there was a bug introduced that made the mission node for acquiring Loki shards difficult. It was an error. Again, trust factor here. And I want to believe that that's true, but I don't know, because everything lined up just way too suspiciously, in my opinion. Again, I want to believe it's true. I hope it's true. But the way that this whole thing has been handled, the information that we were given about the event, I don't understand why requirements for that event couldn't have been given out when the event itself was announced. Right, when we got the information on which characters here. I've got my own opinion about the characters as well, because there's this forced meta that's being forced upon the game where you have to go for specific teams in order for you to be successful or move forward in the game. And with this, instead of giving us the ability to create a team amongst 10 or 15 different characters, it is 5 very specific characters that have practically no synergy whatsoever, and characters that nobody really cares too much about. You've got Ronin, okay, because of the Kree update and everything, awesome, fantastic. That kind of makes a little bit. Well, you know what? No, I can't even say that. It makes no sense at all. In order to get Jean Grey, what does Ronin have to do with Jean Grey? I don't know. Maybe there's some lore, maybe there's some comic story or something like that. I'm not really fully understanding. But again, with the hand, and there's no connection there. Just like with the confusion of the Spider-Verse being an unlock requirement for Shuri. Again, no connection there whatsoever, other than that fan theory, that fan fiction thing that I found and I talked about and I talked about. But at least that team is a synergistic team. This team here requiring Phoenix is not a synergistic team. Makes no sense to me. There was somebody who said that the company will take a look at the player base as a whole, and the characters that people are working on the least become the characters that you work on that are going to be required for a legendary event. I really hope that that's not true. But when you see something like this, it seems like it. It makes no sense at all. So, I can understand that as a game developer and even as a player of a game, that we want to continually increase the power of our characters. I don't think some characters should be left behind for new characters that are coming on board. I think there's some balance changes that need to be made. But with legendary characters historically being a 5-star, I have no problem with them going to a 6-star, or even making a legendary character who's supposed to be absolutely godly to be a 7-star requirement. But at least give the information ahead of time. Don't make it something that is just changed on a dime a couple weeks before the event. It makes no sense whatsoever. It gives everybody the impression that basically what you're doing is you are saying, hey, if you want this character, you're going to have to spend hundreds of dollars in order to unlock this character. No, everybody, even free-to-play players need the opportunity to be able to unlock these legendary characters without paying money. Now, whales and people who spend money, yes, I believe they should have a little bit of an advantage in order to get that legendary character. As far as free-to-play players go, I'm okay with, as a free-to-play player, not unlocking a legendary character the first time it comes around. But unlocking it the second or third time around is fine, because I'm not putting money into the game. I don't get that advantage. But at least I know that I can go ahead and get that. Free-to-play players with this Phoenix event, man, unless they are super dedicated, probably won't even get Phoenix unlocked until, I don't know, what, the third? I mean, it's the same thing they did with Carnage. Carnage, because of Alliance Wars, they put it seems as if, I feel, they put Carnage into the Alliance War store to force people to play the Alliance War, and then make Carnage even more difficult to get up to that 5-star. It's not something that you can farm regularly or normally. I've got my own opinions on Alliance War too. I think it started out okay, but I think there's some issues there as well. But anyway, so I'm ranting a little bit, but back to the 6-star unlock. I think it's okay as long as the players are made aware ahead of time, much more than just a couple weeks. That constant communication and being able to trust the information that you're getting from the developer, I think, is absolutely key and important. And again, it's our game. We're the ones putting our time and money into the game to support the continued development of the game. And I think that as a company, that really needs to be taken into consideration, because we're the customer. And customer satisfaction, in my job, what I do on a day-to-day basis, customer satisfaction is absolutely everything. So no, I don't believe in giving freebies out. I do believe in earning what you get, but I do not believe in last-minute changes, goalpost moving, things like that. Give the impression that basically it's just a money grab. All right, and in an effort to not make this video longer than it needs to be, I did say I had a couple fixes or some things that I think would be good to see. First is dial her back to a 5-star. I I don't know the feasibility of that because I don't know how long this has been in play. But I think one way to fix this or help with the community and build that trust again is to dial Phoenix back to a 5-star unlock. The other one, if that can't happen, push the event out. I have no problem waiting for Phoenix. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but I have no problem waiting for her a little bit longer so that I can continue to build up. Because I'm not ready for her right now at a 6-star. I'm not even fully ready for her at a 5-star, to be honest with you. I got Loki and Hand Assassin that I need to get up there. But that would be, in my opinion, I think that would be something that would be cool too. That gives the community, gives the players more time to get ready for it. Next, if none of that can happen, increase the drops even more. I know that in here they were talking about increasing the drops, but even the 2 times hand drops, or even when they double how much you can get, I don't get a lot. I don't know how everybody else does out there, but I really don't get a lot either. The drop rate just is so low that even when you double it, it just doesn't seem like it's enough. So maybe increase drop rates a little bit more. And then, some people spent some money on Psylocke in order to, because they felt that they were going to get Phoenix or they had a better chance or whatever. I think that a good faith thing would be to allow people to get a refund on Psylocke. Now, I purchased Psylocke so I can create a video and everything. I have no problem with that. So it's not something that I personally would take advantage of, but I think for people out there who said, hey, you know what, I'm going to unlock Jean Grey this time around, but now are so far away from it, it's not going to happen until the second or third time. I think people should have the opportunity to go ahead and get a refund on that. Just my 2 cents. So those are a couple things that I felt would be good in order to kind of restore a little bit. But this was a huge thing, like the title of my on my thumbnail says, was this a grave mistake that they made? Is this something that is going to drive players even more away? Because not just for this event alone, but you take into account the whole last year, right? It's very unfortunate. And like I said in the brief intro to the video here, I very much want this game to succeed. I love the game itself. I love the gameplay, things like that. I want to see this game to continue to succeed and to grow and for many years to come. So I really truly hope that we see something good out of this, and I hope that eventually, because the Titanic takes time to turn things around, right? There's some things that are inherently wrong with some of the stuff that's been happening, and I think that Fox Next and the developers really need to dig deep and determine what they truly want, and take the player's best interest to heart. So there you go, everybody. That's what I had for you today. Just my 2 cents on what's been going on. If you felt that this is relevant in any way, if you felt that the message is true to how you're feeling and what we've seen on Reddit and stuff, please make sure to hit that like button, share the video. Let's get this out to as many players out there as possible. Players who aren't on Reddit or Discord or Twitter. Let's make sure that everybody has their voice heard, because I truly believe every person out there, every player, everybody who puts time into this game deserves to have their voice heard. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. As always, I truly appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. And again, if you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And I'd really, truly like to hear from you. So let me know in the comment section below your thoughts. Thanks, everyone, and we'll talk to you next time.